You know, it's that time of year again. The sniffles, the coughs, the sore throats. It feels like everyone around you is coming down with something. And when you start feeling under the weather, it's only natural to want a quick fix. You might think, hey, why not just grab some antibiotics? But hold on a second. Let's dive into why doctors are so careful about prescribing these medications, especially when your symptoms resemble the common cold or a respiratory infection. First off, when you walk into a doctor's office with a runny nose and a scratchy throat, the first thing they do is assess your symptoms. They'll ask you questions like, how long have you been feeling this way? Or, are your symptoms getting worse? You see, most colds are caused by viruses, and those pesky little things usually clear up on their own in about a week. If you've been feeling crummy for more than 10 to 14 days, that's when the doctor starts to raise an eyebrow. It might be a sign that a bacterial infection is creeping in, and that's a game changer. Then comes the physical exam. This is where it gets interesting. The doctor checks your throat. If they see swollen tonsils with white spots, they might suspect strep throat, which is a bacterial infection. But if it's just red and inflamed without those spots, it's likely viral. They'll also look in your ears for signs of an ear infection and check your sinuses for tenderness, which could indicate bacterial sinusitis. And let's not forget about your lungs. If they hear crackles or wheezing, that could point to pneumonia, which is another bacterial concern. Now, let's talk about when antibiotics actually come into play. If the doctor diagnoses you with bacterial sinusitis, think persistent congestion and facial pain for over 10 days, they might prescribe amoxicillin. The same goes for strep throat. If that rapid test comes back positive, penicillin or amoxicillin is on the table. And if you or your child has a severe ear infection, you can bet they'll consider antibiotics like amoxicillin clavulinate. But here's the kicker. They're only prescribed when there's solid evidence of a bacterial infection. Choosing the right antibiotic isn't just a shot in the dark either. Doctors factor in the type of bacteria they suspect, local antibiotic resistance patterns, and any allergies you might have. If you're allergic to penicillin, for example, they have alternatives like azithromycin. And depending on the severity of your infection, they might even opt for IV antibiotics if you're hospitalized. But wait, there's more. The dosage and duration of the treatment are crucial too. For something mild like a sinus infection, you might get a 7 to 10-day course of antibiotics. But if it's more serious, like pneumonia, you could be looking at a longer treatment period. It's essential to complete the entire course, even if you start feeling better, because stopping early can lead to antibiotic resistance. And that's a big deal. Speaking of resistance, that's why doctors are super cautious about prescribing antibiotics in the first place. They follow strict guidelines to ensure they're only given when there's clear evidence of a bacterial infection. So, if you have a viral illness, they'll focus on helping you manage your symptoms instead of handing out antibiotics like candy. Finally, if you start antibiotics and don't see improvement, or if you experience side effects, it's important to follow up. Your doctor might need to reassess your treatment plan. So, the next time you're feeling under the weather and think about asking for antibiotics, remember this. They're not a one-size-fits-all solution. Doctors take a careful, structured approach to prescribing them, and that's ultimately for your health. It's all about making sure we use these powerful medications wisely so they work when we really need them. Stay informed and take care of yourselves.